it take to take it. The time it take to win. The time you made the greatest. Yeah. You made the greatest time with your life. Right now is greatness. You picked the perfect time in the world is right now. That time is greatness. I don't care how long it take. I don't care what storm you've been through. It's greatness. It's how legends is born. Greatness. I couldn't do it without the greatest group in the world. Greatness. I couldn't do it without the greatest nephew in the world. Greatness. I love my mama.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. Back by popular demand. It's my girl, Cowboys Nikki. Y'all was inboxing me like right away, like, hey, an hour is not long enough to talk. So we joining you for pre-Friday Eve on May 2nd. Nikki, what up, though?
Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, and kudos to you. Y'all just don't know. She's out in Dallas, and sis messaged me like, it feels like 5 minutes ago saying she wasn't home, but she's there now maneuvering through all that traffic, pushing, I think, a Hellcat, the way she described it. If it ain't a Hellcat, she was driving it like it was one. So good evening, everybody, one and all. Thank you for joining NESSP at Night. I'm your host, Sonia Pearson, the host of Prim and Proper Sports and NESSP at Night. Nikki, thanks so much for coming back on short notice. We got to continue. You know, the sports news never stops. We talked mostly NFL, and we talked about Dallas for like 20 minutes. So all you Cowboy fans who know I never give that much time to the Cowboys, go ahead and congratulate Nikki for giving y'all that platform.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So tonight we're gonna kind of mix in some NBA news because we know we got some playoffs going on right now. I think, let's see, what game is it?
Indiana and Milwaukee on.
Yeah, they're on right now, and I think it's the second quarter. I looked like a couple of seconds ago, right before we hit the airwaves.
Yes.
Folks has got to get it done. I think Damian Lillard has got to get it done tonight. He's been, battling some injuries or what have you. But we're gonna let you guys get to that in about 57 minutes once this wraps up. But right now, we just want to say good evening to everyone on the Roku channel. Download the Northeast Streaming app and look for Sports 24/7. This episode will re-air at 2 a.m. And I always thank everybody for the home remedies. Until I get 100%, I'm going to be thanking everybody that's been texting, inboxing, all these home remedies to help me get over this bout with pneumonia. Still congested. I'll be glad when I'm feeling 100%, but I'm getting there. The coughing is less and less. So kudos to that. Thank God for that. And today is National Day of Prayer. So make sure y'all send one up for everybody. And thank you for all of y'all who've been praying for me. I do want to kind of talk about some little NBA news real quick, and then we're going to pivot to the NFL because, today was the last day that the deadline the NFL could exercise their fifth-year option or not. And so we're going to pivot to that in just a minute. But let me talk some NBA news because, I try to keep it sports worthy across the board.
Right.
Let's see. We got some people coming on YouTube. And hello to my YouTube followers, YouTube subscribers. You guys click it and say what up, though, to us all the time, and make sure you share it at Prim and Proper Sports. Let me pop the banner up for everybody who is coming on so you can know how to get all this stuff. Oops, today is not Wednesday. It's Thursday. I'm rolling us back a day. Sorry about that, guys. I'm so glad it's not Wednesday again. Let's be clear. I was super happy for today to be Friday Eve. So we're going to pop that up now on the bottom. Happy Thursday. And Cowboys, Nikki, go ahead and tell us while we're getting set up how people can find you.
Oh, I have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, my Facebook page that I talk a lot of my sports on is called Stars Talking Cowboys. And we do our own show on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays.
All right, that's great. And so thanks again. This is part 2 of our chat from last night. It's so hard when you sit down with somebody that's as knowledgeable as you to have enough time. Like there's been sometimes I run the show and I'm like, okay, I still got 10 minutes left. Let me find something to fill. But I never had an issue with you. So thank you. It's like, girls chat because this is a girls channel. So I'm just
Right.
appreciative of the platform. So thank you so much, Nikki.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's talk some NBA news right quick. The Bucks and Pacers are squaring up right now. They're being aired on TNT. Pacers were ahead a little bit, but it's a close game, about 6 points. Later on at 9 p.m., it's going to be the Knicks and 76ers. And I just found out just a few seconds ago that Sixers and Knicks rivalry is serious. In fact, the 76ers owners have
Mm-hmm.
combined their money together to buy tickets for game 6 to block out any Knicks fans coming in there taking over their court.
Yes.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, they're right up 95, so it's what, an hour and a half apart, pretty close in each other. The New York fans, you know how New Yorkers are across the board, including in the NFL. They can be a little much, and so this time, Wells Fargo Center is hosting this game, and they want to make sure that the Knicks don't come in there taking over their domain, so to speak.
Right. Right. And I don't have no problem with it. I,
Yeah.
I don't I don't I don't have no I don't have no problem with it at all.
Yeah, they always say protect our house,
Protect
protect
your
our
house.
turf. Yeah,
That's it.
protect turf. And so, whose house? My house. It's
That's it.
our house. So you got to make sure that's always protected. So, Milwaukee Bucks star guard Damian Lillard is returning to Thursday's most must-win game 6 against the Indiana Pacers, while Giannis Antetokounmpo is still being out. He's still ruled out for this game. Lillard earlier had been upgraded from doubtful to questionable as the Eastern Conference first round series is continuing in Indianapolis right now. Bucks coach Doc Rivers said both players had great workouts on Thursday prior to Wemby not playing, the two-time MVP being ruled out for the official injury report. Who do you see taking this game? This is a must-win for the Bucks. Does the Bucks stop here?
I think they give them one more game.
They got to win to stay in.
I think they give them one more game.
Yeah, must win. And of course, you see players across the board that kind of just be like, you know what, I'm gonna play through this injury because at this point I gotta win. So if we don't win tonight, my
'Cause
injury is
this
not
may
gonna
be
even
your
matter.
last game this season.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So
Yeah.
we wish them the best. It's definitely gonna be a close one between these games, and they're coming down to the wire. Now, I do want to do a little college news real quick. Kirby Smart of
I
UGA,
just
the
saw that.
Bulldogs, he is now the first $13 million coach in history.
Yep.
He's going to stay around because
Yep.
this money is still rolling in for him. So
Yep.
congratulations to Kirby, even though we saw Nick bow out because of the whole NIL thing and everything else that he probably just got tired of. Kirby said, nah, run me my money. So Kirby's staying again,
Thank you.
cranking out the excellent Georgia Bulldogs. And
Yes.
I think it was last year, Nikki, the NFL draft class was saturated with Georgia
Oh my
Bulldogs.
God, nothing but Georgia. That's all Philly had. I called Philly little I called them little the SEC team of the NFL.
Yeah, the Eagle
Because that's all
Dogs.
they had. Their whole
You may as
team,
well call
everybody
them,
was Georgia.
yeah, may as well call them the Eagle Dogs.
I was
So
like, okay.
they up from the South. Jalen Carter's up there. What they call him? Cornbread, Wonder Bread, one of them bread man. I can't get the bread, but he up there. And a few of his other cohorts are up there in Philadelphia getting it done. So that's going to be interesting to see how that, turns out. Some more NBA news. Basically, the draft rankings are coming up June 27th, around that time frame. I mean, everybody should know at this time of year, this is the time to kind of wrap it up and stick a bow on it. And even though that's just like 6 weeks away, that's right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
People don't realize we are like 5 weeks from summer. Like I could tell it's 80 degrees here in Georgia, and it's May. Like I'm up there asking Alexa, when is the next day it's gonna be cold? And she's saying the low is 67. I'm like, that is not cold, and that's only a low. So Alexa, stop. One moment, please.
Baby, when you say her name, she always talking.
But she can't ever get nothing else right that I ask her to do. Like simple stuff, like turn off the lights. I'm asking that 5 times. So right now in Atlanta, it's actually 85 at 7:11 in the evening. It's gonna be a sweltering summer to say the least. That's crazy. 85 degrees. Sunset at 8:21 today. So yeah. All right. So we are gonna talk about this draft a little bit for the NBA, what type of stuff they got going on. Top the top 10 players. So this is a list that was supposed to be composed today that allegedly the draft's coming up. And it is led by, of course, right away, some people from another country because they ball out over there. The number one selected person looks like who was previously ranked number one and still ranked to go number one in the draft is Zachary Rissaker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's predicted go number one. He's 19 years old, 6'10", and that's his same rank from before. Number two is projected to be Alex Sarr.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. He's 7'1", 19 years old. He's basically in the mix of he's kind of in the mix of being taught about going number one, entering a critical pre-draft stretch because his workout mode has just showed that he can go beast mode. He has the interest of a lot of teams because he basically has made 18 out of 57 3-point attempts, which has him at 31%, which is pretty good coming in as a freshman to the NBA. And he has a 72% shot from the line. Number three, they got Donovan Clingan from Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now boasting into the familiar names that we have. Clingan had a huge role in UConn's national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all will recognize him for just a few weeks ago. He was balling 7'2". He's 20 years old. He's holding tight to that number three position, and he's a center out of Connecticut. What are your thoughts on Donovan Clingan coming in, Nikki?
I think he gonna be. I think he gonna be good. That boy bowed. Our series, he bowed. Like he was the one that made sure UConn won and pulled it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
even when UConn felt like they was kind of down a little bit, he would go on that sideline and he would pump them up, bring them back on their court, and they was running it. I said the whole time, I was like, they gonna win. UConn gonna win, and it's gonna be because of him, his attitude, his character, all of that. He didn't like know he was the best player on the team. He didn't take the shine. He just
Mhm.
went out and he kept his teammates lifted. And that's what you kind of need when you're going through those type of games and stuff. You want to keep your teammates lifted, and that's what he did.
Yeah, he's a strong center too,
Yes.
and once he goes to the NBA, it's going to be interesting to see who's taking over the reins. But they have quite a few chess pieces, I like to call them, that are ready to take to him. We saw how UConn's women, the same thing happened. You know, there was a girl that was there that was guarding Caitlin Clark. Of course, they had to pull her because she had nothing but heart. Now she's in the NBA WNBA as well. So it was a really good NCAA tournament this year. Number four, we got Kentucky's Rob Dillingham, another familiar name. He's a
Mm.
point guard, 6'2". Almost could, in my opinion, play a small forward with being 6'2". But he's one of the more polarizing players projected. Basically, the teams are needing playmaking help, then he's going to be the one that gets the shots off more naturally than anyone else in the class because
Mm.
polarizing, that's what it is. And so he's going at number four. Number five, they got Nikola Topic. Um, he is 6'7", 18 and a half years old. And he's been out. Oh, this is the thing. So even though he's number five, he's had a
Mm.
14-week absence. But he's back on court following a knee injury. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts when players come in that young with a knee injury? I was watching a documentary on Juju Watkins today. I love her. And she was on with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller, the great, whose
Yes.
career was ended. She's 40 years ago. Cheryl balled out at USC. Now Juju's there, and they had a sit down with both of them. Cheryl Miller, 60 years old, 40 years ago, was breaking records with USC, the same
Mhm.
college, but she was not able to really capitalize on her talent because she had a knee injury at a very young age, and unfortunately got the knee injury during a just a fun pickup game, just something not even affiliated with the game, professionally, and it ended her career. As far as a playing perspective, we
Mhm.
see these injuries come in with the NFL all the time, and sometimes it lowers the draft stock of
Yep.
NFL players. What are your thoughts when you see someone 18 and a half has missed 14 weeks? That's what, almost 4 months. That's a
Almost.
long time. So that means the longer you miss, the more serious your injury clearly was. And at 18, I mean, will he be even worth being the number 5 pick in the draft?
I think new modern technology, the way they are able to do these surgeries and things now, and the treatments plans that they have for them now, they get way better care than we'll get, you know,
Yeah,
and quicker and more, more expensive care, and they're gonna get it. And he's young, so
mhm,
it's not like if it was LeBron, at
right.
his age, having that type of injury and coming in. He's young. I think he's gonna be okay. But I think any team that's taking him at 5, they still stand a chance of an injury happening again, of that same type of injury happening again because of him, because of the type of injury that it was. But again, I do see that with new technology, his age wise, his bones heal faster, heal differently than older people. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, they have this new surgery that's completely robotic. In fact,
Yep.
when I had my shoulder surgery, they did it by robotic, and the doctor, and that was in 21. It was 121, 21. I had a complete like rebuild, and like literally was the best recovery I've ever had. The
Right.
pain was minimum. The doctor explained to me, we're using a robot. It's the Da Vinci robot, and he
Mhm.
said the reason why it's less pain later is because the robot is going in one time, going to the target area, doing all the work inside and coming
Mm.
out instead of going in, coming out, going in, coming out. When you have a human doing your surgery, they're going in, coming out, going in, coming out, going in, coming out. Every time they go in and come out, even though they may be using the same surgical site, you're damaging the nerves around it, and now that's going to have pain. You're going to, invoke pain.
Yep.
With a robot, it makes a tiny incision, it goes in with a camera, and the doctor maneuvers around with the camera to see every site that needs to be repaired, and it's using that same incision area, and it's not going in and coming out. It's just
Right.
a
Right.
tinier version, and it's there. And like, I was off pain meds in like 5 days. It was
Wow.
the best. That plus just regular ice therapy was amazing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that doctor was a sports medicine bone specialist, and a lot of kids would come in there. They had like a connected physical therapy place. A lot of athletes were coming in there, and I was like, okay, that says a lot. They were young, of course, because they were in
Mhm.
college or high school, but it was the number one place people were going and sending their kids to have their surgeries. And I met a young lady who had my birthday. She was 17. We were rehabbing together. And I was like, man, like I could be her mom. And she's only 17. We had the same birthday, and she had surgery too. She was a cheerleader and had fallen and tore her meniscus. But there she was rehabbing as well. So that's definitely that. Number 6, we got Matas Buzelis as a guard. He's 6'10, 19 and a half years old, hanging around the number 6 mark. Um, Most teams will be comfortable with him because he has a productivity measure. He's got a high pedigree, and he's one of the handful of players with a legitimate opportunity to boost his stock in the top few spots as the process plays out. If he's able to make a leap as a shot creator, and he'll presumably aim to showcase his scoring potential, he may even move up even higher. But right now he's number 6, and he is from the League Ignite, one of these G leagues that they have.
Okay.
The
Okay.
the Ignite, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that they're going to be getting rid of soon. It's out of Las Vegas, and I think they've talked about this is going to be the year that they dismantle that league anyway. And
Mhm.
so a lot of those players are probably trying to come into the NBA. Next, we got Reed Shepard, another Wildcat point guard,
Yeah.
small guard from Kentucky. He's 6'2", 19.8 age, like he's almost 20 years old. He entered the draft after receiving feedback indicating that he has a very strong likelihood of being a top 5, even though he's in the 7th position right now. He may move up. Once you start getting around that 5 mark, anybody can kind of be moved around. And so
Mm.
that's what we're looking at for Reed Shepard. 8 is another familiar familiar face. In the very beginning of the NCAA tournament, Tennessee was there. And so this guy's a little older. He's 23 years old, Dalton Nick, 6'6", the number 8 position. He's going to be one of the more polished scorers. I don't know if it's because he's a little older or what. He is 23. But he wasn't even on anybody's radar a year ago because he was at Northern Colorado. Now, once he got exposure in Tennessee, and I think he was, the catapult for getting Tennessee in the playoffs, that's where we now see him landing. And he's been able to set himself apart as relatively an easier player to evaluate. He space the floor, and he can do scoring all over the place. Like he's a very versatile player. So he's at number 8. Number 9, another UConn Husky, Stephon Castle, point guard, 6'6", 19 and a half years old. He used his platform in the national championship to show off his credentials. So he basically used that as his platform. That's when we saw the exposure and stuff like that from him. And so now NBA teams are interested in grabbing him in the pre-draft process and rounding out. It's not Prim's coaching. This is a basketball thing. It's Colorado Cody Williams, 6'8", workout circuit. He was once looked at as of having a complicated season before, but his size and his versatility, 6'8", should have him at small guard and forward. I don't know how he's a small guard. I think that's something else, but he's ranked at the number 10 position starting. What are your thoughts on these people that are some of these people we're not familiar with, some we are, with the drafts that they're predicting for the top 10 for the NBA, Nikki?
Um, I to be honest, I would have thought that it would have been like a few more other players that would be in this top 10 based off of,
Mhm.
the tournament. I'm surprised that there's only 2 Yukons that's in the top 10. That's projected to go in the top 10. It's only 2 of them. But then you got the players from Duke that they played with, they bowed
Didn't even see him in the
and
top
didn't
10.
even see them in the top 10.
Or
You got
North
the
Carolina
ones
State.
for yeah, you got the ones from Purdue, that made it and didn't even don't even see them in the top 10. So it's kind of, but of course, the NBA does they lottery picks a whole lot different than how the NFL does it. So
Mhm.
just because we don't see them in this listing and rankings, it could always flip that night of the lottery when they get ready to in those lottery pools. It can always flip for them. I would like to see more of them from some of the ones that were played in the tournaments, like especially in the top, the ones that made it all the way to the end. I tell you, the girls tournament was better than the boys tournament, hands down. But
Mhm.
them boys, a lot of them boys bowed, like even Alabama boys,
Right.
you know.
Right. Wasn't Alabama the one that they had the player that had shot somebody and they were still letting him play last season? This young girl that got killed.
Yes,
Was that still?
yes, but he ended up getting found. They ended up not filing a charge, found not guilty or something, and the charges was dropped.
Yeah, I remember that. But last year was such a controversy as to him still playing, knowing that, at a minimum, I don't know what they had going on. I'm surprised actually, especially with that being Alabama of all places, because they could be like kind of, guilty before you even get your fingerprints run through if they see something go down. So, all right, we're gonna switch gears here. So today is the deadline. It's the final day in which teams could exercise their fifth year option on rookie contracts from the 2021 round one drafts on down. And the big news is Pittsburgh once again is shocking everybody. They have decided not to exercise the fifth year option on running back Najee Harris, who has rushed for 1,000+ yards in each of his first seasons. Let me pause there. Can you believe that, Nikki?
And he set a record. He set a franchise record, but this really shows you how they are trying to take the running backs out the game. This
Mhm.
this really show you the value of how they feel about running backs now. Like, it's unbelievable that these guys put all this wear and tear on their body to carry a ball and get yardage and get touchdowns and keep offense on the field. But they have devalued running backs. Like, it's crazy. They have really devalued them.
It's already a short lifespan on
Yep.
running backs anyway.
Five
They
what? Five
literally
years?
put the whole game on their back.
Yep.
And they're saying that they are not exercising his fifth year option, making him a free agent at the end of this season, 2024 coming up. And of and they're not ruling out agreeing to another contract with him, basically. But with the new offense being installed, the feeling is the organization wants to see how Harris and other running backs would function in Arthur Smith's offense before making longer commitments to them. And just the same as if they haven't created enough buzz with bringing Justin Fields there and having Russell Wilson just ahead of him, they are declining to opt to accept the fifth year option for Justin Fields as well.
And I think it's around the league because, like I told you yesterday, Cowboys did it for Trey Lance. Um,
Yeah.
so it seems like it's kind of like most backup quarterbacks is what they're doing. They're declining these fifth year options because they don't want to have to pay these $22 million guarantee to them. Um, and then with Justin Fields, I was sitting here just looking. Pittsburgh talking about having him return punts. Like what?
Yeah, so that was gonna be my next thing. And Justin Fields, you want him to do what? Like he's not even brought in for that. I'm so confused right now.
I'm so confused.
Everybody's trying to do what I call the Taysom Hill. You know how New Orleans
Uh
has
huh.
Taysom Hill out there.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't even know what his real role is because I've seen him quarterback and running back, and I think I've seen him in every offensive play but the defense. I may have seen him even try for a punt, but I did see him. It's just weird. Like they always have these versatile rules. I don't know if there's a rule that's out there that basically supposed to be prohibiting them from moving around like that, but it happens. Excuse me. Want to take a small moment to talk about unfortunately we have like a little bit of sad news here. It's actually not just a little bit, but sad. Accomplished player, CBS golf analyst Peter Oosterhuis, 75 years old, died one day short of his 76th birthday.
Oh wow.
He was a six-time Ryder Cup participant who later brought his distinguished British voice to CBS golf telecasts as an analyst. He died today. Tomorrow would have been his birthday. He was an integral part of the golf coverage and an incredible teammate for 2 decades. This was according to a CBS statement. He brought a unique style and distinct perspective to broadcast, which made him one of the most respected analysts in the sport. And we share in adding our deepest condolences out to his wife, Ruth Ann, and the entire
Most
family.
definitely.
Yeah, he was a force in Ryder Cup play, going 6-2-1 in singles, twice beating Arnold Palmer. Everybody knows who that is. They have a tea and lemonade mix named after him. And he once also beat Johnny Miller. His 6 wins remain tied for the all-time lead in singles history. So rest in peace to Peter, and prayers to his wife
To his
and
family.
family.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we have some breaking news out of Dallas. Um, Dallas police found no evidence to support the claims of the woman who accused Dak Prescott of sexual assault and will not be filing any sort of criminal charges against the Cowboys quarterback.
Well,
But which we
glory
all
be.
said it. Like I never, I never,
Yes,
I never believed it anyway. Like, come on, that he come who
Dakota
that
Rain. Come
like
on.
who he got to rate? Like who he got to, like come on. Let's be for real. Then you said this happened in 2016,
I,
his first year in the league, 2016, you said this happened. So Dak did file an extortion lawsuit against her
yeah, and
prior to this
defamation.
coming out. So he
He
did.
needs to
So
he needs to
yes,
file a defamation too, because that's a character. I remember there was a time when Zeke and all them was basically getting targeted. It was like all the time I was like, what is going on in Dallas? But yeah, no one believed that.
no
And she
one.
does need to be paid. I think there was who was it, Nicki Minaj or somebody
Mhm.
had sued this blogger for putting out disparaging comments, and the girl can't even pay. She called herself suing Nikki, and Nikki turned around and sued her. Or it might have been Cardi B, one of them. I get it mixed up with some stuff because they was both having stuff going on. Um, but you got to be ready when you coming up against people in the spotlight like that. You better make sure you're not lying, because this could backfire, and you will not be able to afford to pay them back for whatever they're suing you for. Like, they will utterly destroy you.
Like
um
yes.
so
Yes.
I'm glad. Yes, I'm happy that he's been cleared of all the wrongdoing and all that good stuff. Speaking of, like, now that you kind of pinpoint, how in the world is the league continuing to let Von Miller play after that video came out of him beating that girl down? I think she was pregnant or something,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he's still playing. I'm like, what? The league has a very strong stance on that, or at least they did for a while, and now it seems like they're dialing it back.
They pick and choose. They pick and choose, just like the Kansas City boy. They announced today that he's probably going to be suspended half a season. You know, I
Right?
I feel
You
like
talking about right?
yes, they
That's
said
all
he's
he's gonna get is half a
half a
season.
season. I said, "What?" I was like, "What are y'all doing?" I'm like, "So y'all basically saying that this is okay?" Like it's not. It's not okay.
And there
It's
was a
not
whole
okay.
video out.
What message are y'all sending? Just because you play for the NFL or you play NBA, that it's okay to go out here and put other people's lives in danger? Like he could have killed every last one of those people that them cars came in
Yeah,
contact with. You know,
yeah,
and then you walked away and didn't even show no type of care or concern that you didn't had caused this type of accident. So I don't know. That's why I said for a long time. I just wish it's time to remove Roger Goodell, but it won't happen because he's a puppet for the
yeah.
owners.
Roger
He's like
Goodell, I
he's
don't
a puppet.
even know if I can't remember how long he's been in it, but there's no moving him.
Right. And let's see. We have another breaking news story. John Lynch, 49ers GM, has said that as much as he would like to keep Debo and Ayuk on the roster, it may come to the issue that they have to choose one.
Now, I knew that came out yesterday. I think we hit it on for a quick second, but we didn't get back to it. So thanks for bringing that back up. Um, God, let me tell you, Debo is from South Carolina. The
Okay.
Panthers would love
Of
to have
course.
Debo.
I think any team would love him.
But he's home. The Panthers are North and South Carolina's team, so we would love to have him home. Brandon Ayuk, another weapon, but that's crazy. So if they get rid of both of them, you gonna put everything on Christian McCaffrey to go back to the postseason again next year?
That's what well they saying because of the wide receiver that they drafted. The wide receiver that they drafted should be able to give them some of the replacement from Ayuk. I was like, no, like
But that's crazy.
you
He's
can't
new,
say that.
right? He's new
Y-
to the league, and
Yeah,
you
you
don't know
can't.
how somebody's gonna play in the league till they get to the league.
So yeah,
Looks like Nate Wiggins from the Ravens, the cornerback, has become the first rounder from this draft to already sign his contract. So I guess all these people that they just drafted still have not gotten their contract signed yet. I mean, it's been a week. What are they waiting on?
I don't know.
Well, Wiggins is has signed his contract, I guess today. He's the number 30th overall pick out of Clemson.
Okay.
And he was the third cornerback off the board.
Okay.
And apparently it's saying that their defense, Baltimore's defense, ranked first in scoring overall seasons. And now they're bringing him in for his speed. He ran like a 4.28 in the 40-yard dash at the combine. And the Ravens also signed offensive tackle Roger Rosengarten, which they picked the number 62 overall. Cornerback TJ Tampa, he was the number 130 pick, and safety Kane Sanusi at number 250. So they signing all their people. All four players will join their incoming teammates at the Baltimore rookie camp, which starts tomorrow, May 3rd, and runs through the 5th. I was trying to see if I saw the money part, but I don't see that.
I don't know.
Rookie camp is about to start across the league, so I'm sure everybody else will be signing tonight through tomorrow.
Yeah, because don't they have a deadline for them to sign the rookies?
But you know what's crazy? You always see players get picked and then all of a sudden they're switched. Like they're drafted, but then they don't ever take a down.
Nope. Never.
Yeah.
Take a down.
They never take a down. It's
and
like
they move them to practice squad, you know.
Yeah. And that's because they start throwing and stuff like that today. And then like they're like, oh, that is not what you look like. You were throwing good in college, but you can't even catch from my quarterback.
And that's the reason I said that Caleb Williams needs to calm down. NFL is not college.
Not for long.
Not for long.
What NFL stands for.
And I just think he forget that if the other quarterback wouldn't have got hurt, we probably wouldn't have seen him.
So what do you think about this? The Bears are getting a new stadium.
Yeah.
But there's a big mess around it now. The governor has apparently stepped in. I know the other day they were saying that Chicago was like the owners and stuff they're not going to back them with the tax money. So they're saying that the owners got to pay for that themselves. I guess that's the McCaskies. I think that's who owns it. The McCaskey family. But the governor has now stepped in and said the Bears' plan for the stadium remains a non-starter. So now they've shut down all progress for this stadium. Now, let me just tell you, as someone familiar, the Panthers were just getting a practice stadium in South Carolina, but close to the North Carolina border. And David Tepper put up all this money and all this stuff, and he went ahead of the grain. And then all of a sudden, the county and state was like, nah, we didn't promise you this money. We didn't promise you this revenue. Girl, he had already put like all this stuff up and just tore it down. After he had already put like $1 million up, just literally demolished it. And now they're back in Warford College for practice again in Spartanburg. So you just tore it all down because nobody backed it. So you just refuse to build anymore. I was really confused. And this looks like the same thing happened in Chicago.
Right. So when is Chicago stadium supposed to be ready?
I think it was 2026 or 28.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised I don't have Robert on here tonight. He must be working or something. He'll catch the replay. Let's see. The Bears' plan called for $3.2 billion for the new stadium, plus an additional $1.5 billion in infrastructure. And the team in the city said the project would add green and open space while improving access to the city's museum campus. And I've been to the museum. It's really, really pretty in that whole area.
Okay.
The proposal calls for $2.025 billion from the Bears, $300 million from the NFL loan, and $900 million in bonds from the Illinois Sports Facilities Authority. Excuse me. The funding from them would involve extending bonds of existing 2% hotel tax. So, everybody come up there, they want to tax them. So Mayor Brandon Johnson just talked about giving his endorsement last week. Like he was fully on board, the Chicago mayor, saying the project was in line with Daniel Burnham, the previous plan for Chicago to make it better and everything and greener and all this stuff. And he said there would be no tax hikes or new taxes for Chicago residents. But the other legislatures, Pritzker and some more people came on and were skeptical of the plan. The Bears have already spent $197.2 million more than a year ago to purchase just the site of the Arlington International Race Course from Churchill Downs. And they had envisioned building a stadium on a 326-acre for that's going to be 30 miles northwest of Soldier Field. So I've been to Soldier Field. 30 miles northwest seems like that's going to be in Evanston, like north of the city, up there by Northwestern University and all that in northern Chicago.
Okay.
And they needed $5 billion from taxpayers.
Wow.
Now, let me just tell you, for people that don't know about Chicago, Chicago taxes everything. They got it. Like when I was last there about 7 years ago, it was an 11% tax on groceries. So you're buying stuff, and I remember buying just a soda for $1, and I ended up paying what, $1.51 or something like that, because it's a 11% sales tax on everything. If you park on the street, you're paying like $5 like you're paying almost $1 a minute to park on the street. It's crazy. So
See, that's
y'all
the
can't get
thing.
this money.
Mm-mm. But see, that's it. But see, Chicago is only one of the only stadiums that I have not been to. Because every time we play them, it's always super cold when we play them, and I'm like, I'm not going down there and get stuck in it, and can't get back home or whatever. So that's one of the stadiums I've never been to. So is this new stadium going to involve them closing their roof?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
thing, and that was another thing that people were like,
Mm.
nah, Chicago prides itself on being in the elements. Like it's that type of field that they have home field advantage when it's cold. If you bring somebody like the Dolphins in there,
Right.
it's almost a win-win even on a regular day. The day I went in October, so it was right before it gets really cold. But the three different temperatures while I was at the stadium. I got there, it was kind of like overcast and misting rain, and I think it was like 60 degrees. Then like around halftime, it went up to like 75 and the rain went away. But then by the fourth quarter, it was like 51 and sunny but cold. So you just don't ever know how to dress for that weather. It's kind of like when Kansas City hosted the Dolphins through the playoffs, and some of the fans were treated for hypothermia. You remember that? One
Mhm.
guy
Mhm.
got his foot amputated
Mhm.
because he was frozen. But I mean, you're coming from the extremes of Miami, which never sees below 60, to somewhere that day it was like below, it was like, I think what, 5 degrees or 31 degrees or something really cold. And and they're not used to that. So long story short, let's see, when was this building supposed to be finished? They haven't even put a date out there now because there's such an issue with whether or not they can get it started, and you know they may not even get this field started. Speaking of Kansas City, I forgot to
I was about to
mention.
say that about Kansas City, but don't you think these stadiums like Kansas City, Buffalo, Green Bay,
Mhm,
Chicago, Colts,
mhm.
um, I think all of them should have some. They should all move to have their stadiums closed, especially in
Well,
the winter time.
the Panthers, even though it's Charlotte, it gets kind of cold there. We're outside,
Yeah.
and it snows in Charlotte. Like it
Mhm.
snows there more than it does in Atlanta. The coldest game I remember when I went to is the year we went to the Super Bowl and the Seattle came to Charlotte, and we had a tailgate. Girl, we had to have heating lamps and everything out. It was so cold. I had on like two or three coats. I think that day it was like 24, 25
That's what happened to
temperature.
us in last year against Green Bay for the playoff game. It was 12 degrees. for that
Oh,
game.
when y'all went to Green Bay?
No, when we
Yes.
played in Dallas
Oh,
last
what?
year. Yes, that had
I didn't
never
realize it
happened.
was that cold there.
Yes, it was 12 degrees
Yeah,
in Dallas. And that's why everybody, but like once we got, of course, once we got in, we were fine, you know. But that's another reason why everybody was so mad. We was like, we stood out here and damn near froze to death,
yeah.
you know, 12
And
degrees.
meanwhile, Green Bay is like, this is a spring day for
They
us.
brought the cold with them. They brought it with
Yeah.
them. And
They literally did. I heard in Green Bay they have seat warmers. Like they actually have warmers for their seats because if you don't know, the Green Bay waiting list for season tickets is long. No matter
mhm,
what their seasons look like, those fans
mhm,
pack out the stands.
mhm.
You can't even get a season ticket with them because people buy them and they keep them and they just pass them down through their family.
That's what
And they
Dallas was doing.
weather, yep, they weather whatever kind of storm it is. I do want to congratulate Travis Kelce. It looks like he is coming
Yes,
back again. He said
got
he's
an
not a guy
extension.
that holds out.
Yeah, he said he got it. He got extension. I heard him
Yeah.
and Taylor Swift not together though, but they trying to keep
What?
that on the low. But I heard they not together.
Wait a minute, where did you hear that?
It was
Breaking
on the
news, guys.
it was on well, I was reading it last night. I was reading it, but they was like they wasn't ready to let it hit the public yet. They said something about
Oh,
she didn't like how he carried himself in public, or she didn't like how he acted in public or something, and she felt like it was a little bit too much for her character and for her,
oh,
so they kind of like pumping the brakes on the relationship.
well, I mean, at least she knows now he is a party animal.
Oh yeah,
She seemed
yeah,
like she had him kind of tamed a little bit, but a dog can't hide his bark for long. That's my own
right.
little saying
He
I done
should have
came up
stayed with
with.
Nicole. He should have stayed with
Yeah,
Nicole.
honey, because but let me just tell you, I felt like she was just seeking attention. Leave
Yeah,
this
she was
man
doing too
alone.
much. Let
You
him
on
be.
TikTok, Instagram, everything, talking about all the bad stuff about him, but you're not with him. Like, who goes out there and just bashes somebody repeatedly?
And she's
Like,
beautiful, girl. Find you somebody else.
yes, find somebody else. And it's not like he broke up with her for Taylor. Y'all was already broke up. I'm so
Right,
confused.
right. I was like, okay, Nicole, you're doing a lot. You're doing too much now.
Well, you talked about teams that be getting rid of folks. Girl, speaking of the Bears, real quick, they done got rid of their punter, Trenton Gill, because they drafted Torrey Taylor. So they done fired this man. Y'all going all in. The Bears are really trying to be an offensive team. You don't waive your punter once you drafted Iowa's Torrey Taylor, who I don't even know nothing about that man, what his punting skills look like. But it must be cool that you're already firing people.
So is that the one Caleb text and told him he not gonna be punting much?
Oh, yeah, it is. Caleb he already creating an issue up there.
That's what I told you. I don't know how that's gonna fare with him in the locker room. I could see him and DJ Moore bashing. I can see
Yeah.
him and they not clicking. I can see him
Yeah.
and DJ
Former
Moore not
former
clicking.
Panther and
Yeah.
DJ could be a hothead. He cost us our
Yes.
game in Atlanta because of him excessively celebrating a touchdown to the point
Yep.
he ripped his helmet off. I was at that game.
Yep.
I was so mad. He ripped his helmet off and just threw it like almost like at them. Like, yeah, like F y'all, that kind of thing. But we got the touchdown call back because of you. And they hurried and traded him. I was like, okay, I don't know if you should have traded him, but we lost that game because it ended up going overtime and we lost. Whereas if we had just had that touchdown, we would have won by like 1 or 2 points and the game would have been over. He pushed us, he got us they called a touchdown back and they pushed us so far back with the field goal that we missed the field goals. It was like a double whammy. Yeah, just upsetting to say the least. Yesterday, we talked about running backs. Boston Scott has been signed as a running back with the Rams.
Oh,
In
really?
2023, he had 20 attempts and 86 yards. He only got a 1-year contract, but at least he's there. He's formerly with the Eagles.
Yeah, I didn't know he had left. I didn't know he had left the Eagles.
Yeah,
I didn't
honey.
know he had left.
And you know Michael Gallup. Now, so wait a minute. One thing
He
we
went to the
talked about,
Raiders.
we talked about Marcus Mariota yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, somebody told us he was with the Raiders. He is with the Commanders. Marcus Mariota is the
Oh.
backup to the Commanders. Um, but wide receiver Michael Gallup has now signed with the Raiders for 1 year, $3 million. Previous team with the Cowboys. Wide receiver Quintez Cephas has now signed with the Bills for 1 year. Former team, the Lions. I'm shocked about that because the Lions need to keep who they had.
Yes.
But he did not play last year, if you remember, because he was suspended
He
because
was
of a
suspended
gambling
for the
infraction.
gambling. Mhm. Mhm.
Then,
Mhm.
yeah, last Friday, Mekhi Becton signed with the Eagles. He got 1 year up to $5.5 million.
Where is Philly
Previously
getting
with the
all
Jets.
this money from?
Yeah, they desperate to win.
Where they getting all this money from? And I'm like, okay, if y'all don't win, y'all gonna be in cap hell next year.
Well, Goodell gave some extra money some kind of way because everybody was
Oh, they
over the
got the
salary
COVID
cap.
money back. They got that COVID money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because they were saying that everybody was like 30% over their salary cap
yeah.
or
They
something
got
like that.
COVID money back.
Yeah. So then we got Andre Dillard. I was shocked. He played with the Eagles, and the Titans. He's now with the Packers. It feels like he
Oh,
was there before, but I guess not. Um, they didn't give out what his terms were. J.K. Dobbins, former Ravens, and I
he's
thought J.K.
he's
was
the
with
Rams,
the
right?
Commanders, but he's not. He's with the Chargers
The
now.
Chargers. He with the Chargers.
1 year. Royce Freeman is with you guys.
Yes.
Um, Former Rams, had 77 carries, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good as a
Not
running back.
bad.
And Equanimeous St. Brown signed with
Mm.
the Saints. I don't know if he's related to Amar Ross St. Brown or what, but he's a wide receiver. Former Bears. He's going to be going to the Saints. And Rock Ya-Sin signed with the 49ers for a 1 year deal. He came from the Ravens. He is their cornerback, and defensive tackle Jordan Phillips is now with the Giants, formerly
Oh.
with the Bills.
Uh-huh.
DJ Uzoma signed with the Eagles. Again, more money for a year. Previous Jet Ashton Davis is going back to the Jets again. He has 17 games, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, excuse me, and 8 passes defended, 37 total tackles for the safety. So he's going to be re-signed with the Jets. Kyle Duggar is re-signing with the Patriots. I don't know why, but he is. 4 years, $58 million with $32.5 million guaranteed. And
So the Patriots drafted May, right? Didn't they draft Drake May? They drafted okay. I
the
feel like they drafted
Patriots.
another. Yeah, I feel like they drafted another Mac Jones. But
I feel like they yeah. No. Drake May did not go to the Patriots.
I think he did.
He went
Quarterback?
to look it up for me because I remember
I think
thinking
he
he was
went
going
to
to the
the
Patriots.
Patriots.
He went to
Let's
he
see.
went to are you able to look it up, Nikki?
I'm looking now.
Yeah, while you're looking, Mike Danna re-signed with the Chiefs as defensive end. Isaiah Simmons re-signs with the Giants.
Yeah, he went to Patriots.
He did? Okay. I knew
Mm-hmm.
I predicted him to go, but for some reason I thought he didn't actually go.
Yep, he
Tahir
went to the
Tart
Patriots. Mm-hmm.
is with the Dolphins. Derek Brown re-signed with the Panthers. 103 total tackles. He's defensive end, 2.0 sacks per game, 1 interception. I'm not too sold on that. You only got 1 interception. 4 years, $96 million,
What?
63.1 guaranteed. Yeah, for the Panthers. Dude, why?
I didn't know
Lael,
Jacoby Brissett was in Patriots now.
yeah. So Jacoby, former Colts, former somebody else.
Redskins or
Yeah,
Commanders,
Commanders is now with who?
Browns. He's with the Patriots now.
Wow.
So him and Drake Drake May will battle out for starting quarterback.
Or is Drake May filling in as because Jacoby Brissett has not been a starting quarterback since he filled in right before Gardner Minshew got there in Indy.
Veteran quarterback Jacoby Brissett, who signed 1 year deal
But
contract with the New
Anthony
England.
Richardson is coming back
Yeah.
for the
Oh, he coming
Colts.
back for the Colts. Yes. I
Yeah,
like
so
Anthony.
they had to get him on out of there. He done had a baby while he was out. So
Oh.
I'm like, you that hurt, but you got a baby on the way. Okay, I got you. That's the first thing I thought too. I was like, oh,
That's what I
okay.
said about Trayvon Diggs. I was like, come on, y'all. Like, Yeah.
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 It's a lot. Randy Gregory, didn't he used to be with you guys?
Yep. We the only reason why he's still in the league.
They didn't even give him the props of being with y'all. They said former 49ers and
Good.
former Broncos.
Good.
He's signing with the Buccaneers, I guess, from the Broncos.
Yeah,
So he
he
went
signed
from the
with the Bucks.
Cowboys to. So he went from being a lassoer to actually the horse himself, and now he's with the Buccaneers.
Yep. Yep. He was with us all them years, and then he went to Broncos, and it didn't work out for him in Broncos. Then he went to 49ers, and now he went to the Bucks.
Yeah, they got a lot of people. Let's check in with this NBA game that's going on right now as we get ready to wrap up. See if there's a score alert. You got it up there for me, Nikki?
NBA.
All right. So right now it's 59-47 at halftime. Pacers are up.
Yep.
And this is a must-win game for the Bucks. If they don't win,
Ain't
it's
looking
over.
good.
It's over. If they win, it'll be tied. But if they don't, with Damian Lillard, they go home tonight because Indy has the lead 3-2. And that Knicks game is going to be the same way. Knicks and 76ers.
Who you got winning the championship though?
I'm still I want Boston to win it because I'm a Jason Tatum fan, but I feel like it's going to be Denver again.
Denver again. I think so too.
You can't mess with the Joker. You can't mess with him.
You can't mess with the Joker. So what do you think happened with LeBron?
So now, LeBron's son, Bronny, he's clearing. Notice he ain't in the top 10 either. He's declaring for the draft. I feel like LeBron, they're going to try to pull him somewhere just to let Bronny play. But then when he don't play or y'all lose the game because he is playing, what's your daddy going to do? Like, to me, that is like the most overrated story out there. I'm just not a LeBron fan. I know people that are. He is great in the community. I just have not really liked him. I kind of felt the same way, God bless the dead, about Kobe and Shaq too. I'm just not a fan of those three gentlemen at all. I feel like they are self-entitled or were self-entitled. I feel like they have the I mentality. And even Phil Jackson, when he was out there with them with the Lakers, he left because he said he couldn't coach Kobe and Shaq. He talked about that.
He said it was too much.
Yes,
it was too much.
He did. I mean, when you got two people who don't want to play in the sandbox with other people, they just go in there like they want everybody to have their name on their jersey. Like, this is the James team. Like, you want everybody to wear your number. And they're just your mini-me's, your puppets, or what have you. And that's how you don't win games because, but meanwhile, honey, LeBron got Anthony Davis just on his, honey. He just loves him. He talks about how the media hates him and how everybody hates LeBron. But at the end of the day, when LeBron's gone, you're going to be everybody is going to be looking for LeBron, and there's not going to be a LeBron in the league anymore. But I mean, they're like Bert and Ernie. He's there every time you turn around with that unibrow. I mean, they are bros for real. Like, you could just tell they're like bros. I mean, I don't see that same return from LeBron to him, but I see my energy. What I see is always Anthony looks like he'll just do anything for LeBron. I don't see it always reciprocated.
No.
Closing thoughts.
No. It's not. Yeah, it's gonna be surprising. I think Bronny is gonna get picked just to surprise, just to please LeBron.
Yep, that's how
everybody's saying the same thing, that he ain't ready.
He ain't ready. And that's where we're gonna leave it. Speaking of not ready, looks like Bucks may fall on this one.
Right.
We're at the 1 hour mark. Nikki is always
went fast.
Always goes fast. I appreciate you so much. We're going to re-air at 2 a.m. for all of you guys who didn't get to see us tonight at 7, because I know y'all watching that must-win game. And hello to everybody that came on, and hello to our 2 a.m. audience when you guys do come on. Nikki, it's been great. I'll see you next time, and everybody, we wish you a good night.
Good night.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.